All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting episode of the Geeky Misfit podcast. I am your host, Jalen Coleman, the Geeky Misfit himself. And our guest today, as you saw from the thumbnail, from the title, it is a living legend. And I do not use the word legend loosely when I say this. This is the only person this is the only person in the world that can say they have voiced Simba. They have been Michael Jackson. They've been the big brother to a genius. They were on a band with Nick Cannon. They were in a skating rink in a group with T.I. They were they were helping Bow Wow and Brandon T. Jackson once they secured the lottery ticket. And currently he is friends with Luke James, trying to stay safe in the Shy. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard all those roles from Lion King, The Jackson, Smart Guy, Drumline, ATL, Lottery Ticket, and The Shy, and so much more. Our guest today is none other than Jason Weaver.
Yo, what's up,
Much
Jalen?
What's up, bro? Man, I really appreciate you coming on. Really excited to talk to you again. I had already posted on my IG that I was doing this interview, and a lot of people were responding excited, like, "Oh, tell him I said this. I love him in Lottery Ticket. I love him in Drumline. I love him in just the various projects that you've done."
Yeah. Well, first of all, Jalen, thank you so much for having me on Geeky Misfit. It is a pleasure. Um, Man, and thank you for, supporting the work and following my
Absolutely,
career
yeah.
throughout all these years, and everybody else out there who has been supporting me and following my work. Because, this is a journey, man, and it definitely has its peaks and valleys. And especially when you black in this industry and,
Oh
and
man,
and
yeah.
trying to carve out your own way. So I've been very fortunate. I've been in this industry now close to 40 years. You know
Oh
what I'm
wow,
saying?
yeah.
Working actively since I was a kid, and I'm still here by the grace of God. And yeah, man, I'm just happy to have these opportunities to connect with people like yourself and
Yeah.
and others who have followed my work and supported me. So thank you again.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think one of the great things that people also just love about you in general is you're very humble. And that's something through that people can feel, it's authentic. It's not some Hollywood type of you want to be humble.
Uh,
It's it's some
nah.
genuine humbleness. So I think that's also something that people truly appreciate and notice about you.
Nah, thanks, man. Well, again, like what I had said earlier, I think when you have gone through your fair share of challenges and have been able to get to the other side of them,
Yeah.
through faith and through support, like genuine support, that
Yeah.
I've gotten from my family, that I've gotten from my friends, that I've received from, fans and supporters over the years. So it's like
Yeah.
when you know that, and when you've been able to witness that and feel that internally in
Mhm.
your spirit, you can't help but to walk around with a sense of gratitude and humility.
Yeah.
You feel me?
No, so again, you're just more reason why we love you, brother. So
Thank you,
so this
brother.
is
And I
great.
love
Yeah,
y'all
yeah.
too. Thank you, man.
Absolutely. Before we, I guess, fully dive in, I'm sure you know the news. I don't know if you have. I want to congratulate you guys on The Shy. You guys were just renewed for a seventh season, making it the
Yeah.
longest scripted series on the network on Showtime. That's incredible.
My man, it's incredible. It's you know, me and the cast, we talk about this all the
Mm.
time. Because there's a lot of veteran actors within this huge
Yeah.
ensemble cast, and a few of us have been on shows that either have gone on for seasons and gone into
Mm.
syndication, and there have been some of us who have been on short-lived sitcoms and television shows.
Yeah.
So, a lot of us on the show recognize how big of a blessing this is.
Yeah.
First and foremost, to have such a huge, brilliant black ensemble cast
Hmm.
that really puts our best foot forward each and every episode. Amazing writers,
Yeah.
mostly comprised of, black females, just
There we
keeping it
go.
real. Like I think our
Yeah.
whole writing team, damn near with maybe the exception of one person,
Mhm.
all black women powered
Right.
storylines and narratives that are
Mhm.
constructed. Of course, our general, our leader, Lena Waithe,
Lena. Yeah.
with her being at the forefront and doing many of the things that she's doing to empower Black women as well as members of the LGBTQ community. we're getting an opportunity through this show as a brilliant Black ensemble cast and crew to tell these amazing stories that are rooted in the true Black experience that's
Yes.
right there on the South Side of Chicago. And we touch on some of the violent aspects that exist within society and on the South Side of
Yes.
Chicago, but we don't celebrate it, and we don't just like lean so heavy on it. Now, maybe
Yeah.
a little bit this season, keeping it because we have some storylines
There's
to
some
round
the way
out.
it ended last season. Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna
Yeah.
get a little violent. Yeah.
So yeah, so it's gonna
Yeah.
get a little heated, but for the most part, what we try to focus on is just community and strength and unity and community and love. And
Yeah.
so for us to have 7 seasons to be able to tell those kinds of stories, man, I'm just thankful to God for it. And I can honestly speak for the rest of the cast when I say that we're all very appreciative and grateful to have an opportunity to be a part of a show like The Shy, for sure.
Absolutely. Is this currently the longest series that you've been on?
Yeah, technically,
Yeah.
yes. I
I know you
came
weren't there in the
in.
beginning, rather, but yeah.
Well, actually, here's a funny story that a lot of people don't know. And I think this will connect and resonate with a lot of actors out there and
Yeah.
performers who may be dealing with their fair share of challenges right now with, just kind of getting out there and getting seen or trying to get work. But I was originally a part of the original cast of The Shy. I was cast originally as Ronnie. Man,
Oh wow.
Ronnie,
Okay.
yeah, and Ronnie, the way Lena had originally written and constructed that character, he was a lot younger.
Okay. Yeah.
He was a
That's
little
what I was
bit
thinking. I
more
was like, okay, hold on.
yeah, he was a lot
Yeah.
younger, a little bit more edgier, from a
Uh,
street perspective.
right.
And so I ended up doing the pilot for The Shy.
Yeah.
And man, like 5 6 months later, when we got the call back from Showtime saying that they were, picking it up, they had also informed everybody that was involved in the original cast that they would not be coming along for the ride.
Oh
With the
wow.
exception of Shaman Brown. I think Shaman stayed around,
Papa, right?
who plays Papa. But
Okay.
other than that, they had recast the whole show and put in and cast the people that you see in the series now.
Right.
And so, to Lena's credit, and I love my sister for this because she kept it a stack with me. She had called me that evening when I found out the news that I wasn't gonna go forward with the show at that particular time.
Yeah.
And she said, "Yo, man, I know this sucks, but like, this is the network's decision. This is a move that they're making." She's like, "I have to adhere to this because we just got to get this show on." She's like, "It's important for us to get this show on so that
Yeah.
it can give others, us, an opportunity to be
Mm,
seen and to be heard and to be a part of this industry." And
yeah.
she said, "But I promise you," she was like, "I'm coming back. I'm gonna circle
Mm,
back around for you." She said, "Just let me like get my feet firmly planted in the soil." And sure enough, she did, man. Like,
yeah.
season 4, um, I just got a call out of nowhere from production giving me an offer to play this amazing role of Shad.
Mm,
And I think honestly, and this is just the way God works, man. Like, Shad is a better fit for me.
I
And
think
he's
so.
had,
Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely.
and he's had a lot more time on screen, and
Oh
his,
yeah. That's true. Yeah.
yeah, and his storyline I think has been a little bit more complex and a little bit
Yeah.
more layered. So God works in mysterious ways, and for all those actors out there and performers who are going through their season right now, trials and tribulations, just trying to be seen and just trying to get out there and do good quality work. Trust me when I tell you, man, just keep plowing forward because man, the universe, God sees all, man. And if you
There you
putting
go.
in the work and if you got the faith, it comes back around and you will get your opportunity. And I'm a living testimony to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Particularly with this show, The Shy. Yes.
And what's for you is for you because again, I can't imagine anyone else playing Shad. I can't imagine I can't remember the actor's name who played Ronnie, but he did a phenomenal
Yeah.
job as Ronnie. So it's like, it kind of
Yes.
worked out for everyone in the way that it should have, Because well, again, what's for
Yeah.
you is for you. So
Exactly. And that's just the message that I was trying to, drive home because it's such more of a competitive industry now.
oh man, yeah.
Um, You know what I mean? The opportunities are limited and far and in between. So, I just like to put those little things out there,
Yeah,
tidbits for actors and performers or anybody in the industry or in life who is aspiring to do things and accomplish things. Like just
yeah.
know that hell, I've gone through my fair share too.
Yeah, and no matter, and again, you've been in the industry for almost 40 years, like you're saying.
40
So that's
years.
something that still just doesn't, almost at whatever level you're at, it's still going to be a challenge for the most part, right?
Oh yeah, there's always going to be a challenge, career wise in life. You're
Yeah.
always going to be met with something. So yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
You've already, and in my research and studying you and watching your other interviews, and even the short amount of time that we've already been in this interview, you've
Mhm.
always make it a habit to shout out Black women that have played a role in your life. So I guess the question is, what pivotal roles have Black women played in your career, and not only your career, but your life and who you are as a man today?
Oh man, great question. Yeah, I think it's very, very important that we as Black men really acknowledge Black women in general, and
Yeah,
especially those Black women who are blazing the trail and who are creating opportunities and who are empowering the community through the things that they're accomplishing and that they're doing. And Black women have always been the backbone of us as a people since even our ancestors were
yeah,
over in Africa, and even coming here and surviving the Middle Passage and being here in the South, and going through slavery and segregation, Jim Crow South. And Black women have always been at the forefront of being our protectors, our nurturers, the ones who, pray the hardest for our
yeah.
collective cause. And so
Nothing
now
like a
that we're
Black
at
woman's prayer.
Oh man, for real. And now that we're at a point where you're seeing so many more Black women at the forefront of business, politics, entertainment, finance, it's just important to recognize that, man, and to let them know that they're appreciated and loved and respected. You know what I'm saying? It's important for them to hear that from us. So I always make it a point to do that. But going into your question, um, you know, Black women have played a major and pivotal role in my life. Of course, starting off with my mother, my grandmother and my aunts, the Black women that are in my family. They're the ones who, especially my mother, um, really nurtured my talent, really helped me hone my talent. I get it's a God given gift, but it's also inherited because my mother is a singer and a
Yeah,
performer.
yeah,
And so, learning techniques from my mom, learning how to be a working professional at a young age, all of those things were instilled in me from my mom. And then along the way, I was able to work with brilliant women like Tony Patillo, who was my manager for a time, who was with Suzanne DePass's company, creative management, DePass Entertainment. So Suzanne DePass and Tony Patillo were my managers, two Black women. And those women taught me a lot. I
yeah,
mean, just as far as business on a high level, a large scale. Tony Patillo and Suzanne DePass played a major, major role in that. Who else? Man, there's so many. Oh, because also even the things that I've accomplished, roles that I've been able to play throughout the course of my life, whether it was the Jacksons, um, what Smart Guy, the
mhm,
appearances that I had on Sister Sister. No,
yeah.
that was all from the house of Suzanne DePaz. That was
Ah,
all
okay.
from that relationship. And so yeah, she's played a major role. Of course, Lena, I credit Lena with helping to bring about a resurgence, if you will, in my career. Not that I was lying dormant in any kind of way, but I was just kind of just doing work as I was raising my son and being a
Yeah,
single father. And so that had really been my focus over the course of all of those years as I was, raising him.
yeah,
And then just right at that moment, when my son like graduates and begins to go into his own adulthood and manhood, is like that's when Lena comes around with this amazing opportunity. And man, she's given me an opportunity as an actor, and as a Black male performer to really spread my wings, man,
yeah,
and show a level of range and diversity within my performance that I haven't been given a chance in a very, very
Mm,
long time. And on top of that, I think just aside from what I do on the Shy, herself and Hillman Grad as a collective, Rishi
yeah.
Rajani, all of the people at Hillman Grad have played a major role or in this particular chapter of my life as I'm stepping out and becoming a content creator and developer and producer. So she's playing a huge, huge role in my life right now, just helping me make that pivot
Mm,
from just being an on-screen talent to being like a true executive and producer out here making moves and creating other opportunities for other people.
yeah. That's yeah, that's incredible. I know I can speak for probably everybody that we're excited for the content that you're going to be creating, man. The scripts that are going to be coming from you. Yeah, we're we're
Uh,
pretty excited.
Man, I'm excited too, man, and I'm
Yeah.
excited to get it out to you guys because it's good quality stuff.
Mm,
Um, the audience that's out here now, and you could see it from the Shy, man.
yeah.
The audience that engages with us is like spot on, very smart, on top of it.
Yeah.
Even as far as noticing continuity issues that may exist in
Oh
the
yeah.
storyline. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah,
so being
Twitter will
that
tell
they're
you or something. Yeah.
oh yeah, it's a
Yeah.
very enlightened, engaging, and intelligent
Mm,
audience. So like, being that we are on that kind of page right now of
yeah.
viewing content from that angle, I think that the things that I'm going to be presenting, people will really connect with and like.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I'm absolutely sure that it will. With you again, with you being in the industry for so long, you've seen it change from what it was to what it is now. And one of those things, what we kind of just mentioned with kind of social media and the way that people interact with movies and with TV.
Yeah.
What do you think? What benefits or what significant change do you see from like back then when you're on a show and
Mhm.
you don't really get the instant reaction, right? Nobody's tweeting like love this episode or hated this episode. Have you
Yes.
ever kind of gotten wrapped up in like do you see the tweets for the Shy and other things or do you kind of stay away from it?
No, no. I actually do pay attention to it because um the audience is thoughtful
Yeah.
and they care.
Mm,
The comments that are made about the show, whether perceived as being negative or positive, they're all
mm,
coming from a very sincere and genuine place.
yeah.
These are people that really, really have invested in the overall storyline, but also the characters and their character arcs, and
Yeah.
even on down to the cinematography and the writing. I mean, and when you have an audience that's engaged like that, you got to respect that.
Yeah.
And those of us who are veteran performers on the show, we've been around for a long time. All actors deal with is criticism and rejection.
Yeah.
So at this point, most of us have thick skin, and
Yeah.
I don't take anything personal. Um, I recognize that when people are just giving their opinion, they're just giving their opinion, and they're
Right.
not necessarily giving their opinion about you. They're giving it about the character and just what they
Mm,
think of what they see on the screen.
right.
So as a performer, you shouldn't take it personal. I think you should just take the work personal that you do.
Yeah.
But as far as like playing into social media in that regard, no. But I'll say this on the other side of that. Um, I think social media is a very effective tool
Oh yeah.
when used properly. Especially with performers, with on-screen talent. I think it empowers us a little bit more.
Mm,
Actually, a lot more. I
yeah.
think it empowers us, financially. I think it empowers us from the aspect of being able to engage with your core audience and your core
Yeah.
fan base, and not necessarily having to rely on the traditional means and outlets by which to kind of get your face and your name out there and to generate some kind of revenue. So that's, I mean, one of the things that I'm really, really interested in,
Right.
kind of going forward, is utilizing social media more. Utilizing the genre of gaming more,
Mm, yeah.
and animation. That's
Yeah.
kind of what my overall game plan moving forward in the future is going to be, because I do believe you're going to begin to see a shift where you're going to see like individual subscription based content coming from
Mm,
like big movie stars. I
Oh yeah,
mean,
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, I don't think it's going to be a thing anymore, even when you're good, like a Netflix or, some of
Yeah.
these streaming platforms are going to be as relevant,
Mhm.
because you're going to see
Especially now
more
with their
big.
prices going up and
Exactly.
yeah.
And people just want now what they want to look at. And they just want to
Mhm.
look at their favorite star and
Yeah.
keep it moving. You know what I mean? Because the
Yeah.
market is oversaturated with so much stuff. So
True.
now I think you're going to get more people pivoting, using
Mhm.
their social media handles to put out their own content, generate their own revenue, and continue to engage with their own core audience.
I
So
do
I
think
love
that's
it.
where the yeah, I think that is where the future is heading. There was a I can't remember. There was a veteran actor. I want to say Denzel, but it probably wasn't. Who said something along the lines of, they feel that an actor should be mysterious to a degree, right? Like they shouldn't
Oh,
necessarily
yes.
be on like on social media. So much like the world shouldn't know so much of their personality, right? Which
Denzel
I
said
guess
that. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. To a
yeah.
which to a degree, I think I absolutely, can agree with because when you're watching someone's performance, right? You're like, if you are watching, I'm just using The Rock as an example. If you're watching The Rock trying to, I don't know, be a slave or something crazy, you might be like,
Mhm.
this is just The Rock, as opposed to
Yeah.
if it's someone who you don't see as much on social media, then you may be able to suspend that suspension of disbelief a little quicker. But on the flip side, with what you're saying, I
Uh,
think we are in a different time where people do want to kind of get more content from the people that they are invested in and that they're fans of. What are
yeah.
your thoughts kind of on that kind of middle ground with that?
Oh no, I believe that there is a middle ground to that you can create with that. I totally
Yeah.
understand what Mr. Washington was talking about, but I think what he was hinting at or alluding to is people just using social media to project out every fine detail of their life, where it's just like, oh
Yeah.
my god, like now you're bringing the camera in the bathroom with you.
Yeah.
Now I gotta
Yeah.
see you when you waking up first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
And yeah, because what that does is it does remove the veil of mystique that
Mhm.
I think, true, like superstars, if you want to call it that, or
Yeah.
celebrities or what have you, there is a certain level of mystique that I believe a performer should have, to where it can keep your audience guessing,
Yeah.
to where when you do present like some work, they can go, oh, I've never seen that in him
Mhm.
before, or I've never seen that in her before.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think there's a way to utilize social media. I mean, with me, the way I utilize it, I throw out a lot of ideas. I throw out a lot of conversation pieces that we can have as a collective community.
There
I
you go.
don't
Yeah.
really focus a lot of times on myself. The only times when I do that is when I'm promoting something that I'm in. And even with that, I do that sparingly, because I look at it like, okay, they get the point. I've
Yeah.
posted a couple times, it's coming on this night. If people are really rocking with me, they already know what's coming on,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm not gonna keep beating people over the head. You feel me?
Right.
So I think from that standpoint, social media can be used like that. And then social media can be used for the work, like for
Mhm.
a content creator and producer like myself. I'm gonna start using it now to like start filling out ideas that I have,
Yeah.
scripted ideas, that maybe a studio hasn't given me the opportunity to shoot, or
Right.
hasn't put money behind, but I know it's a viable and good sound idea, and I got a couple dollars behind it. We shot something short. Let me put it out there and like let the audience see it and let them
Mhm.
determine,
Right.
whether this is something that can work in the marketplace. And then they'll come looking for me versus me trying to knock down the door to get to them.
Mm. Yeah.
So, from that standpoint, I think social media can be effective. I just think with anything in life, it's all about balance.
Right.
And if you create, fair balance within the realm of social media, you can use it effectively without looking like a cornball.
Right. I see some
You
of
know?
definitely. I definitely see some of the I guess the younger shy cast. They're if I open TikTok, I see them creating TikToks in fun ways to promote the show.
Oh
Do
yeah.
they ever try to get you into TikToks or anything?
Oh yeah, the youngest, they always especially Ahmad,
Yeah.
he'll always have me on TikTok. Michael Epps,
Yeah,
he'll,
yeah,
and which I think is really, really cool, man, because those kids, well, those young people, they're not kids, they're young
yeah,
adults.
yeah,
But you know, those young people, man, are so brilliant, and they're in such a beautiful moment right now, and they're so
Yeah.
excited. And so, when you see them like that and they on set and they got their little TikToks going, and I just like to
Yeah.
be a part of that as well, because I can remember what that felt like, at
Right.
that age of
Mhm.
just, being in that moment and having the whole world ahead of you. So I love that they include me in on those things, and I love being a part of them. And yeah, I think it's also good for the show, because we do have other veteran actors on our show who aren't as engaged on social
Yeah.
media. But who I think now it would benefit them to maybe be a little bit more engaged or be seen more. But the
Yeah.
kids on our show, kind of get them in that mix. So I think it's mutually beneficial for everybody.
No, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I want to take it back a bit. It's kind
Mhm.
of your early days in
Yes.
Chicago, and I'm
Hmm.
curious what kind of significant moments in your upbringing there do you think you will forever remember because it shaped you into who you are today? Meaning, like when you're 70 or 80, and memory might be fading a bit, but you're like, I remember when I was a kid, and this really was significant.
Oh man. I mean, it's gonna sound all goody two shoes or whatever, but I mean, it's really is a part of my life because I come from that kind of family. But like, man,
Yeah.
growing up in the church, man,
Oh,
you know
okay.
what I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
saying? Attending Trinity United Church of God in Christ, like
There we go.
on West 95th Street. And my pastor at the time was Jeremiah Wright. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Being a young kid, um, being on the south side of Chicago, um, and the way Chicago was at that time in the 80s and 90s, it was like really segregated. You
Yeah.
want to talk about feeling marginalized. Like, man, that was a time when black people in that city like were going through a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you had members of the clergy, and you had spiritual leaders like Pastor Wright, like the Honorable Minister, like Jesse Jackson,
Yeah.
and other community leaders like that were really leading the charge on educating and informing our generation, the youth at that time.
Yeah.
And what Pastor Jeremiah Wright was preaching at Trinity at that time, it was called Black Liberation Theology.
Okay.
And it was informative, and it was using the Bible, and particularly the story of Jesus, to be able to relate to our own experiences and what we were dealing with in modern day society.
Yeah.
And that was our way to be able to relate to the scripture. And
Mhm.
he found this unique way of being able to make scripture like real life versus
Right.
you being just preached to. And that helped to really shape me as a
Mhm.
as a boy and as a young man, and even as the man that I am now at 44, 45 years old. I think that's
Yeah.
one of the things that keeps me shielded, that keeps me armored up, is that
Yeah.
to where I've been able to survive this industry,
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
has been like my upbringing, coming from the church and coming from a praying family, man, and growing up out south in
Mhm.
the hundreds, like
Yeah.
playing basketball with my friends and going to school and doing all the normal thing, having a fight on the block. If somebody got a problem, I was doing that up until I was 14,
Dang. Yeah.
15 years old when I
Yeah.
moved when I moved to LA. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it just, all of those memories, man, all those things help shape me, and they're the things that I carry with me to this day. And that's why I'm so proud
Mm.
to be where I'm from, and why I'm always waving the flag for Chicago, no matter where I go,
Yeah.
because man, that's where I cut my teeth, like, and that's where I learned everything. And so, even now to be able to be on a show to celebrate that city and that upbringing and that community that I come from, that's what
Yeah.
makes being a part of the Shy even more special.
Man, that's incredible. That's yeah. All of a lot of this stuff you've been mentioning within our conversation, you've mentioned God, you've shouted out God. Do you
Yeah.
find it hard to be a God fearing man in this industry that is Hollywood?
Man, well, yeah, it's hard to be a God fearing man just living in this world, because it's just
Man, yeah,
temptation everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
whether you in the industry or not, it's always something around the corner. The enemy is always trying to find some kind of way to attack you, man. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And destroy you. Um, but man, what I just try to do, I pray, I meditate,
mhm,
um, I try to be as responsible as I can. I try to use discernment to the best of my ability. When I know, what I'm saying, when something ain't right, I lean
Yeah.
on that. I lean on that intuition or that feeling that I have in my spirit.
Yeah.
And man, and I just try to do right by people, man. That I mean, I just try to do right by people.
Mm.
And I think that's the most important thing, because when you do right by people, no, you may run into a couple assholes every once in a while, excuse my language, but for the
Yeah.
most
No, you're
part,
good.
you can walk around, relatively unscathed, man. A lot of the
Yeah.
times you can just continue to walk in blessings. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So I just try to thrust out into the world what I would like to get back. And and it's worked out well for me. I mean, I've had some bumps and bruises here and there.
Yeah.
I've fallen to temptation like everybody else here and
Mm.
there. I've hit my head, on the wall a couple times, just being young and reckless and just wanted to experience something. So it's not like I'm walking around here not having any kind of experiences. I've definitely had my fair share,
Yeah.
but grace and mercy has been bestowed upon me throughout it all, and that's why I'm still here and able to talk about it. You know what I'm saying, and look back
Yeah.
on it, with a laugh or two. You feel me? So, but it's been a good journey so far, man. I'm just praying that I can continue to walk in the straight and narrow path that I am, and continue to work and take care of my family. And as long as I'm able to do that, man, I ain't here to bother nobody.
Yeah. No, I
You
feel that.
feel
I
me?
feel like I needed to hear some of that myself, actually. So I appreciate you saying some of that. Yeah, I was, yeah. Do you sorry, with out of all the amazing roles that you've done in your career, if there's somebody that has no idea who you are, has never seen anything that you've been in, and you only
uh,
have to pick three roles out of your whole filmography,
mm.
which three do you think you'd be like, this is the best example of who I, Jason Weaver, is as an actor?
Oh man, whoa, that's a great question, Jalen. You know what? I'm gonna say, well, I'm definitely always gonna list the Jacksons, because I think that
Mhm.
was the first role where I was ever given an opportunity to really kind of spread my wings and fly as a young
Yeah,
performer. So I would say that from kind of like a comedic and cultural um perspective, or where it's significant, where I would want people to check it out, I would say like ATL, because
yeah, girl, I love
it's like
one of my favorite
ATL.
coming of age movies, man.
Oh man, yeah, and
Yeah, I love it. Yeah,
thank you,
yeah,
man, and I think that's why too. Um, I I would really want people to see that, because it is a coming of age story, and um, you get that kind of comedic element of it,
yeah,
but it's also kind of rooted in something, kind of heartfelt and touching
yeah,
about friendship and brotherhood.
mm,
So yeah, I would say that, and then lastly, I would really say The Shy, man.
yeah,
I've been given an amazing opportunity to display range, man. I mean, this
yeah,
character Shad has been through a lot of stuff. And there are a lot of emotional ups and downs that you've seen this character go through. And as an
yeah,
actor, it's been a challenge, but it's also been very rewarding to see the work, the,
right,
the finished product. And for me as an actor and as a performer to be like, oh man, that really came across really good. Like
yeah,
that's great. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would say those three projects for
yeah.
sure.
I think those might be my three favorite projects of your. I love lottery tickets. I feel like lottery ticket does not get like a lot of love that it should. You know?
Man, it did, man.
Yeah,
And I think a lot of that had to do with the studio. And thank you for supporting Lottery Ticket. But
yeah,
I
absolutely.
do think it had a lot to do with the studio. I mean, when you talk to
Mhm.
Ice Cube, or when you see any of his interviews, he'll break
Yeah,
it down. These
yeah. He tells it
studios,
how it
when
is. Yeah.
yeah, when you initially come in with content that's like
Mhm.
black powered, especially
Oh
during
yeah,
that time, you were met with a lot of like resistance, or
yeah,
reluctancy to get behind it. And they may give you the money to shoot the film and all of that, but there also needs to be money there to actually back it in the marketplace, and to where it can be on the same number of screens as everybody else, so that it can be
right.
just as competitive. So there are a lot of different factors that go into that when people say, "Oh, well, I don't know, about lottery ticket, like it didn't really perform well at the box office." Well, if you look at the business of it all and how it was structured, it really wasn't set up to win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was set up to kind of, win, or I guess at least get them back in the black from a domestic
Right.
standpoint.
Yeah. Yeah. Make their money
But
back for
other
the
than
most
that,
part.
it
Yeah.
wasn't like they were going to push it internationally and in the
Yeah.
global market, which is where you really make the money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and I say all of that because if Tony Baker ever sees his, my
Yeah.
good friend and
Shout
comedian
out
Tony
Tony Baker.
Baker,
Yeah.
shout out Tony Baker because
Yeah.
he did a survey on his podcast, and he was like, I don't think we need a lottery ticket too. It didn't really do well, and it really wasn't that good. So, hey,
Tony, come on, Tony.
Tony, you was hating.
Yeah.
Jalen liked the movie,
Yeah.
and
I
I
think
think he's
it's
gonna do a
it's
sequel.
underrated.
From what Bow Wow just told me, from what
Yeah.
Shad just told me, because I ran into him a few days ago at a cigar
Yeah.
lounge that we frequent down here in Atlanta, and he
Okay.
did tell
Nice.
me
Yeah.
that I think we're gonna do a sequel to Lottery Ticket. So
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
interested to see how that goes.
I'm interested to see Tony Baker's reaction too when it comes
Yeah, I'm
out.
interested to
Cause
see
like,
it too.
yeah, like that was a great Tony Baker impression, by the way. I feel like you did a good
Oh
job
no,
impression. Yeah, yeah,
I try my best with Tony, man, and I
yeah,
love Tony. He's great, man.
yeah,
I love what he represents. Even as far as comedians and
yeah,
and these the comedians that are online now who are
yeah,
utilizing social media. I think he's one of
yep,
the best ones out there.
mm,
Utilizing this tool to
yeah,
really get his name out there. And Kev on stage too. Shout out to him.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
They're both hilarious. Yeah, I was literally just watching a podcast they did a few months ago yesterday. So yeah, I think
Oh, okay.
they're
Okay.
both hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Oh,
are.
dope. I'm excited for lottery ticket too. I really hope it happens. Yeah.
I hope it happens too, man. I mean, we'll see. And I know all of the performers who were a part of the original are probably gonna jump at the chance to do it because we all had a,
Mm,
a good time when we were
yeah.
shooting that film. Like everybody just enjoyed each other's company. And
Mm,
of course, unfortunately, we're not gonna have Charlie with us, Charlie Murphy.
yeah.
He's transitioned since then.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else. Oh, Malik,
Yeah. I
who
was gonna say
played
yeah.
yep, who's from
One of
LA.
the friends in the crew, right?
He was one of the friends at the what they call it, the porch crew or whatever,
Yeah.
or the
Yeah.
stoop crew.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Malik has transitioned over. So we're gonna be missing a couple people from the original, but hopefully everybody that's still here with us will
Yeah.
jump at the opportunity for us to reconnect and film a sequel.
Yeah, hopefully, I think it'll be great. Also, just to touch on it again, I think one of the reasons I think I loved it because when I saw it, I'm a filmmaker also, and I think at the point
Okay.
of me watching it, I was just getting into making films, so I was really just
Okay.
like watching it from that perspective, and I was kind of breaking down like certain aspects of it. It was like my first time really watching a movie from the perspective of okay, I'm a filmmaker now. Now, like, how does
Oh, that's
what's I'm
great.
paying attention to? Yeah, so I think I just have fond memories of the film as well whenever I think about
Oh
it.
man,
So
that's great. Thank you for sharing that, man. Nah, I mean, for somebody that was a part of that film and has been in the industry for a long time and who is excited about the new generation of young
yeah,
black filmmakers, to hear that film in its own way helped to
mhm,
kind of for you as a filmmaker go, okay, what are we doing and how to drive a story. And no, that's
yeah,
awesome, man. That's a
yeah.
huge compliment. Thank you.
No, absolutely. Thank y'all for making it. So yeah, and I
For
think I spoke
sure.
to Eric White maybe like years ago. I have him on Facebook, but yeah, I like messaged him. Thankfully, he was nice enough to respond and kind of like give me
Oh,
some
Eric is
advice and
great.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
good guy.
Eric is
Yeah,
great, man. He's one of those directors out there too. I know he's directed some stuff recently for like BMF, I
mm,
think, and maybe like Power or something like that. But he's one of those
yeah,
directors, man. And I think like he all he needs is just like that one shot
yeah,
to just shoot that film, and he's gonna be out of there. Because
yeah,
it's like him and Chris Robinson are two directors
yeah.
that I
Chris is
really
dope.
had a
Yeah,
great time working with. Chris
mm,
Robinson is a genius, man.
yeah,
He's such a fun guy to work with, and just his vision, like you trust him,
mm,
to have that kind of trust in your director where it's going to look good, and the story's going to come together. He's just one of those
yeah,
guys where you feel comfortable with him while you're in the
yeah,
process of filmmaking. So yeah, shout out to Chris and Eric. Shout out to Charles Stone. another
Mhm.
brilliant Black director that I had the pleasure and honor of working with on Drumline.
Okay, yeah.
Um, yeah,
Man,
I've
you
had
have so many classics, bro. Like,
oh man, God's
yeah,
been good, man. I'm telling
yeah,
you, like the journey's been dope, and it keeps getting better, man.
right. No, it does, yeah,
It keeps evolving, and more opportunities are being presented.
yeah.
For me to walk into them and put my
Mhm.
best foot forward. So I'm enjoying myself. I really
Yeah,
am. It's fun.
no, absolutely. Why did I just blank on my question? With you mentioning the great directors that you've worked with, I always ask actors, especially veteran actors, this question because our fan base is a lot of like actors and young filmmakers that listen and watch this podcast. And me myself
Yeah.
as a filmmaker, I love asking what makes a great director, like that you've worked with, like what makes them great.
Um, Great question. First of all, a great director needs to have a vision, number
Mm-hmm.
one, like a clear vision of what kind of story that they want to tell
Right.
and how they want it to look and how they want it to come across to the audience. The second thing and the most important thing in the actual process of filmmaking is preparation. Like if you don't have your stuff together like on the day, if you haven't really taken the time to go over the set, like you're blocking, and I'm talking about preparation days prior,
Yeah.
especially if you're working on a feature. Like, with episodics, with TV, it's a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
But when you're working on a feature, you got enough room in pre-production to really, really, really prepare and have your shit together. So, for me, knowing that a director is prepared, they already know how they want to go into the scene. They already got a clear shot list of what they want to do,
Yeah.
because that that to me signifies that you're a leader. And
Okay.
that's what I need you to be on the set. I need you to be the coach because I'm the player.
Right.
I'm the one performing. So like I need you to be able to really tell me that either this is looking good in this lens, you playing it like this way. Like I need you to know all of that. And I need you
Yeah.
to know enough about me as an actor to where you know what to get out of me. You know what I'm saying? And while you're able to um kind of dictate over to me or relate over to me suggestions or ways by which you would like for me to perform,
Mhm.
on the same side, I like a director who's a good listener and
Okay.
somebody where we can meet halfway, where we can meet some common ground. A lot of the times, because I've been fortunate enough to work with some really good directors,
Yeah.
there is no middle ground to meet. I kind of just trust them and I go with what they're saying. But if it's a director that's like, no, I'm interested to hear what you think. How would
Okay.
how how would you like to block this?
Yeah.
Because sometimes we do that on the shy. We have young directors on the shy that will do a rehearsal and then they'll go, okay, I got an idea of how I want to block this, but let's get it up on its feet and let me
Mhm.
see how you would do it. Let me
Okay.
see how you would position yourself, in the scene. And then we find a way,
Mhm.
then we'll meet in the middle. And it usually turns out really, really great. So I've been doing
Right.
a lot more experimentation like that with directors as of recently with The Shy.
Yeah.
And I think it makes for a great product at the end of the day. But I'm
Gotcha.
I'm not, I'm not closed off to a director just simply knowing what he or she wants and they just
Right.
want you to do that. You feel me?
Okay. Do you so I'm now these are just kind of almost purely selfish questions because I'm shooting my first feature later this year. Do
Oh,
you
nice.
as an thank you, do you as an actor, do you prefer when you're getting direction, like if a director needs you to walk over here by this window for the purpose of lighting, would you prefer
Uh-huh.
them to just simply say, hey, as we're blocking this, do you mind getting over here? Because then, like, the camera gets you better the lighting. Or do you need, like, well, actually, your character moves this way because,
Oh
the
no,
so
hell no,
forth.
no,
Yeah.
no. Tell me what it is.
Okay.
Tell
Gotcha.
me what we
Yeah.
need to do to make
Yeah.
this right because we're all working as a team, and it's not about me.
Yeah.
It's about us, and it's about this story that we're trying to tell. And it's your
Right.
job to direct us and position us
Hmm.
where we need to be to make it
Right.
look good, to make it flow properly. So if I feel comfortable with you and I know you know what you're doing,
Hmm.
if you like, man, stand over there real quick. You don't have to offer me an explanation. I'm
Gotcha.
gonna
Yeah.
go over there as a working professional actor and stand in position and do my job.
Yeah.
The only time I'm gonna question you as a director is if you go, So you think you would do, because it's different from going, well, hey, let's see how you would do it. Let's see how
Right.
you guys would do it. It's different from
Mhm.
going, well, would you, well, how, because that means that you haven't really thought about it yourself.
Right.
So you searching me to try to figure it out. So when I feel that kind of energy coming from a director, then that's when you're gonna get met with a little bit of resistance.
Mm.
And not resistance in a way where it's
Yeah.
unprofessional. I'm just gonna challenge you
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And then that
because
trust may not be as strong there, right?
because the trust is not there. And in
Yeah.
the back of my mind, now I'm worried about, okay, now is this scene gonna look good? Now I'm
Mm.
gonna look like an idiot in the scene. Okay, let me
Yeah.
protect myself here
Right.
because I can't look crazy in this scene. So
Yeah.
then it becomes that kind of thing as an actor. But nah, I think, man, as a director, you should be firm
Yeah.
but open to suggestion, but
Yeah.
firm. Like, know what you want when you on set, because I
Yeah.
don't know. You know what I'm saying? And it was
Yeah.
your reel at the end of the day that attracted the studio, that made them want to pick you to direct this thing. So
Right.
like, they're trusting your vision. They just want me to do my job. That's it.
Yeah.
So that's just how I see it. Because even when I'm doing stuff now, like shooting content now with some of my friends
Mm.
and some of my colleagues, yeah, like when I go on set, it's like, hey, this is what we're doing. This is what I have in my mind as far as blocking.
Right.
Let's see what you guys kind of do first. Let's find some natural positioning and blocking here. If it doesn't work for where we see the shots, what we have on the shot list, we'll adjust accordingly.
Mhm.
And I'll firmly block you guys. But like, let's just
Gotcha.
feel it out. But when
Yeah.
I feel like the actor may not have that instinct, then I'll go, okay, he or she doesn't have the instinct. Let me
Yeah.
position them over here. They don't even know where their light is at. They don't even know, you know what I'm saying? So
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Just curious. Yeah. No, I appreciate it. That was actually helpful.
No, man, I'm
Yeah.
glad. And hey, man, good luck on your first
Thank you.
feature. And I
Thank you.
and I
Yeah.
look forward to hopefully being able to work with you one day, man.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely. Yeah. That. Yeah.
I
Just
love
say
working with
say the word. Yeah.
young filmmakers because I
Yeah.
think young filmmakers nowadays just have a different approach to storytelling
Yeah.
than some of the veteran actors that we've always admired. That we
Right.
kind of grew up watching. Young filmmakers nowadays, especially young Black filmmakers,
Mhm.
just have a different lens that they view from in life in general.
Yeah.
So I'm always very interested and open to working with young directors like yourself. So please keep me
Yeah.
in mind, man, for
Oh no,
stuff you do in the
definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
future.
We're gonna manifest this. So it's
Let's
definitely
do it.
definitely gonna
Yeah.
happen. Yeah. Yeah. Before we fully
Absolutely.
wrap up, I guess I have a few just a few more topics. I don't want to,
Sure.
help you get us time. Do you ever with like other biopics coming out and other like Lion Kings that have been made? Do you ever look at like the upcoming like movies and be like, I think I was a better singing voice of Simba, or I think I was a better younger Michael Jackson, or are you just excited to see someone else's take on it?
Oh man, I'm always excited to see someone else's
Yeah,
take on it, man. Especially when it comes to a young performer getting an
yeah,
opportunity. Like how can you hate on that?
yeah, absolutely.
In particular, with the new Lion King that had come out,
Yeah,
where JD McCrary ended
yeah,
up being the singing voice for
mhm.
young Simba. And I know his uncle Darius. And
Okay,
so for that to come back around full circle where another young Black man getting an
mhm.
opportunity to be a part of history, cinematic
Yeah,
history. How can you hate on it?
no,
Um,
absolutely. Yeah,
and even with the new Jackson's film that's coming out that
mhm.
Antoine Fuqua is directing,
Yeah,
man, anytime young Black kids, Black performers can get an opportunity to shine, I'm always gonna be one of the first ones at the theater to drop my money down at the box office.
gotcha. Yeah,
Because that's what it takes. And at the end of the day, somebody did it for me.
yeah,
Somebody looked at my work and said, you know what, man, I'm gonna go on to see that movie and support that
mhm.
young man. And you know what I mean? So when you see any of us, our young people, doing things and making strides, and you got to celebrate that because I've already had my moment with it,
Yeah,
and it's already been a blessing to me, and it
mhm.
continues to be a blessing. So
Yeah,
let it be a blessing to someone else too. It's
yeah.
enough for everybody out here.
There you go.
It's
Yeah,
enough. It's enough praise out here for everybody. It's enough money out here for It's enough. The universe is abundant.
yeah,
It's enough out here for everybody. It ain't no reason to hoard nothing. It ain't no reason to try to take ownership into
yeah. Mhm.
anything that really ain't yours. You
There
know what
you
I'm
go.
saying? The
That's
only thing
it.
that you can take ownership of is your story. But
Yeah.
when it comes to like, things that you've been a part of and man, you know what I mean? Whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
So
No, that's a great perspective to have. Yeah, because I know some, there are probably some actors who, could be a little shady or jaded by it, or be like, just hold on to certain roles a little too tightly. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I mean, but then those performers, like, then they really ain't performers. Then
Mm,
it's more of an ego thing for them.
yeah.
When you're a true performer, it's not about you. It's about the work.
Yeah.
That's all it's ever been about for me, man. Like,
Yeah.
and when you start getting into that conversation of, well, I could have did it better and I could have, well, then you're not looking at like the work and what's
Right.
best, overall. You're just
Yeah.
looking at it from an egotistical standpoint. And I'll give you a perfect example of that. Like, um, as of recently, we're now seeing Luke James' brilliant performance in Them, The Scare. That's
Yeah, I
on
think my
Amazon.
mom just finished it, and she came up to me and was like, "Luke James did his
Luke
thing." I was like,
James
"Okay,
is
yeah,
is absolutely brilliant. Now,
yeah,
check it out. I auditioned for that.
okay,
I auditioned for
yeah,
that role. Now, I thought I did a pretty good audition.
yeah,
I put my best foot forward.
mhm,
But Luke James is effing phenomenal.
yeah,
There's a reason why he got that role. It was for him. And so, like, when you see that,
yeah,
that's when you should be at a point as a performer where you go, nah, he was the best
yeah,
because we just want the product to be good. He
there
was
you
the
go,
best.
yeah,
That's what it's all about. It's about the work. So, those of us I think who embrace that, we stick around a little bit longer
that's it,
because,
yeah.
we keep it in a perspective what this whole thing is about. So, yeah.
Do you have any I guess dream roles that you haven't yet been able to play? Any kind of character types, or
Ooh.
because with you mentioning them,
I,
I don't think we've seen you as a villain, right?
no, and that's funny. I would love to play a role that would allow me to, and this is gonna sound so kind of sick, but I'd like to play like a serial killer in a
Yeah,
film. Um, and one of the main reasons why I think serial killers, their personalities are so complex.
yeah,
When you look at traditional serial killers, whether it's from Ted Bundy to John Wayne Gacy to Jeffrey Dahmer, they have these dual personalities.
right,
And so I think as an actor, it would be fun and challenging because
mm,
it's not that I want to play something sadistic and cruel and sick. It's just,
yeah,
but as an actor,
it's the
I would like to
challenge.
be given an opportunity to be challenged in a
Mm,
way, performance wise, to show some duality. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And the struggle between, these two different personalities. I think
right,
for me as an actor, that would be really, really interesting and something that I would like to, sink my teeth into.
right,
Um, but other than that, I just want to continue to tell good quality stories. Um, Stories that I can be proud of as a black man to represent as it relates
yeah,
to our experience and what we go through in life.
mm,
Um, and as long as I have that, man, I'm not really picky because I can go from one end of the spectrum to the other as it
right,
relates to filmmaking, whether it's comedy, drama. I can fit in any space.
right.
But I
Okay, yeah.
do make it a big deal that whatever I'm doing is of good quality
Mm,
and that we're not out there like just playing ourselves or being stereotypical or
yeah.
what I'm saying? Like I'm not into any of that kind of shit.
Have you ever turned down any roles that you felt were too much of that, too stereotypical, too
Man, plenty of times.
yeah,
Plenty of times.
yeah,
Plenty of times. Like whether it was an actual offer or whether it was just a general meeting, an
mm,
audition. Like I would tell my agent before we would even waste any more time on the subject. I'd be like, no, this
yeah,
is not me. No, I can't represent that because at the end of the
gotcha.
day, I gotta go home.
Yeah,
I gotta go back to Chicago at some point, or
yeah,
I'm coming back here to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? The
yeah.
Black Mecca. Like, no, we're
Yeah,
not doing
they
that.
gonna
And,
tell
and on,
you like, yo, what was that?
oh yeah, and on top of
Yeah.
that, I'm not looking in the mirror
Mm,
and going, "Oh my God, what did I do? Why did I do
yeah.
that? For a check?
Right.
Nah." You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
nah, man, I got way more integrity than that. So, nah, that I mean, even during difficult times or where I've had lulls in my career where I could have been more tempted to do it, I've just
Mm,
never there's no amount of money out here that's gonna make me sell my soul,
Yeah.
or sell my integrity as a black man. It's not happening.
Yeah. No, absolutely. That's yeah. Thankfully, yeah.
Yeah,
You
man.
can
I
provide
just
both
I
of
just
those.
I just stand on that, and I encourage, other, especially black performers and on screen
Yeah.
talent out there, and even people behind the camera. Like, man, don't sell yourself short. You know what I'm saying? And you know when something ain't right. Like you can feel it. And
Yeah.
then when you have that moment, whether you in the office talking directly to them across the table, or whether your agent or your manager is doing, don't let nobody play you, and don't let nobody buy you out of your integrity. You know who you are, and stand firm in that, especially if you black. Stand
Yeah.
firm in that shit.
Yeah.
Real talk.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Man, before we do wrap, as I mentioned in the beginning, we do have a segment, our geeky misfit trivia section.
Mm-hmm.
So I will be asking you five nerdy, five geeky questions. And
Okay.
if you get 3 out of 5 correct, you will be dubbed a geeky misfit. Is there a reward? No, it just means that you are a geeky misfit. And the way I break down what a geeky misfit is, it means
uh
that you are a fan of a certain thing, meaning it could be superheroes, it could be comics, it could be anime, it could be sports or whatever, and you are
okay.
pretty knowledgeable at it, and you are also a real nigga with that in the mix. So that's ultimately
Okay,
just
I bet.
all right. Let's dive into the first question. Can you name me 3 black superheroes?
Absolutely. Blade.
Okay,
Of
okay,
course. T'Challa and
yeah,
Black Panther, and Storm uh in the X-Men.
yep. There you go. Okay, great. That's
Yep.
yes. All 3 of those check out. Okay, we got one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did all three of
Next,
those check out?
they do. Yeah, yeah, there you go. You just because you'd be, I've had some, we do this. I've had guests, and I ask these questions, and yeah, I'll be like, oh, y'all, you really don't know like any black superheroes. Okay, great. Which X-Men character has the ability to control metal?
Oh, Magneto, right? Magneto.
Yep, there you go. There we go. Congrats. Yeah,
Yeah,
that one works. Yep. Okay.
yeah.
Um, next question, kind of, you mentioned it kind of. What two superhero roles has Holly Berry played?
Well, she's played Storm,
Mhm.
and she played hold on.
Got it. Yeah, I'm sure it's.
Was it? Oh wait, Catwoman.
Yep, there you go. Yep, yep, yep.
Yep, yep.
People forget about it,
Storm and
but she was
Catwoman.
Catwoman. Yep.
She was Catwoman because unfortunately it didn't perform well at the box office.
It did not. Yeah, no.
Yeah, it
Unfortunately,
didn't
it did not.
perform.
Love how it
Yep.
wasn't a good movie though. But
Yeah.
see, I was first of all seeing her as a kid, seeing her as Catwoman and the outfit and everything. I was just like, I don't care about what this movie is about. This is
I'm just
just
going to see Halle Berry as
yeah,
Catwoman. Yeah, I
and
went
loved
to
it
I went to
for
the theater to see it too, just because of that. So
yeah,
yeah,
like and had a great time. So that was yeah,
yeah, I had a great time. Had my
yeah,
popcorn and everything. I don't even remember the story.
yeah, yeah, not a line or nothing, just Halle
Nothing,
Berry.
nothing.
What 2 superhero, or rather, what 2, comic book characters has Michael B. Jordan played?
um, Killermonger.
Correct. Second one, people forget about a lot because he played it only once, and the character or the film rather did
Oh,
not.
and
Yeah.
it was. Is it Blaze in Final Four? Or what, man? What's his name?
No,
What's his
you're
name?
very close. Yeah, yeah. You got the
Uh, oh, oh, wait, because he
it
was in
was
Final Four. But what's that
the
character's name?
Fantastic Four. Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
It's not Inferno, is it?
No,
No.
you're in the vein of it, but yeah.
Johnny Blaze? No,
Oh,
that's
you're
not.
so close. You're so close though. The Johnny part is right. I'll give you a hint. The character's first name is Johnny. The last name is a character that we just mentioned that Halle Berry has played.
Oh, Johnny Storm?
Yep, he played Human Torch. Yep.
The
His
Human
real name
Torch.
is
The Human
yeah.
Torch.
Yeah, yeah.
I knew it.
His real
I
name is
knew that
Johnny
one.
Storm, and then the superhero name is Human Torch.
Because
So
I love Fantastic Four. I
yeah,
used to read the comic. I can't believe I didn't
yeah.
even remember that. Because I'm
Yeah,
a geek, man.
I can tell. Yeah, no, I can see
Yeah,
it.
I
Yeah.
own a lightsaber and everything, my
Oh,
guy.
perfect.
Like,
Yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So then you might you may know the final question. What character did Sam Jackson play in Star Wars?
Oh, Mace Windu.
There we go. So you might be the first. Are you? You might be the first guest to get all five correct. By the way,
See
like
there?
so. Yeah. Now you're the
See
ultimate
there?
geeky misfit.
You
Yeah.
gotta
And I
give me the
think
ultimate geeky
you got the
misfit.
ultimate. Yeah. I'm gonna put a bell over this and everything. We're gonna have
Yeah,
the
yeah,
graphics.
please,
Yes.
man.
Like you are
Yeah.
the ultimate winner. And I don't even.
I'm
I don't
wearing the
think
crown.
you absolutely. I don't think most of these questions are they change up each guess, but yeah, I don't think
Okay.
they're too difficult. But yeah, I think yeah, you're the first guest, so congrats.
Thank you, Jalen. Thank you. That was a good
No,
game. I like
absolutely.
that.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Lastly, before we wrap up, I put on my IG public story that I was interviewing a guest, and I put a hint and said whoever guesses the guest correctly, I will give them a shout out. And I put up a picture of young Simba, and the first person
Okay.
to guess correctly was Vaughn. So shout out Vaughn. Definitely also
Vaughn.
follow Vaughn. Yeah,
Okay, what up, Vaughn? What's happening?
yeah.
What's happening?
Shout out Vaughn. She was the first person to guess. People were saying like new the new age people were saying like Donald Glover and etc. And I was all like,
Oh, okay.
it's
Wow.
animated. It's animated
Right, it's
people.
anime, not
So
live action. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So shout out Vaughn. Vaughn also does hair. So shout out, follow
Okay,
Bonnie
okay.
Hair Essentials to give her a plug. And lastly, I also try to shout out a black business at some point during the show.
Okay.
Today's black business is Nick Nack Does Hair, another hair page.
Dope.
She's an incredible hair person. I don't know the name for the terminology for
Hairstylist or
hairstylist. There you go. She's
there
an
you go.
incredible
There.
hairstylist. She styled some incredible people. Yeah, she's just a great person as well, and I'm giving her business a shout out. I'm gonna put her IG in the caption. Nick Knack does hair.
All right.
So shout out her. But yeah, Jason, man, it was a pleasure to talk to you, brother. I
Man,
hope
it's a pleasure
whoever's
talking with you,
listening,
Jalen.
absolutely hope whoever listened got some gems today because you dropped a lot, man. And I can't wait to see the upcoming season of The Shy. I can't wait to see all the content and scripts that are going to come from you as well, man.
Absolutely. No, thank you so much, Jalen. Man, I had a pleasure talking with you this afternoon. Thank you to everybody who took time, time out to tune into our conversation that we had. And just for all the support, I just want to thank
Yeah.
everyone out there. Please make sure that you tap in with us. May 10th is the
Yep.
premiere of Part B, Season 6 of The Shy. You can see it on Paramount Plus.
Hmm.
Also, I got another film that's coming out on BET Plus May 9th called
Okay.
The Deadly Getaway,
That's
which
tomorrow,
stars
right?
myself. Yep, that's tomorrow.
Cool. Yeah.
Which stars myself, Yandy Smith, Princess Love, Jeff Logs.
Nice.
Um,
Okay.
no, it's directed by a brilliant filmmaker, Harlem's own Charles Jones. Um, it was produced by Megamind Media Studios. It's a really, really
Okay.
good film. We shot it in Prince George's County, Maryland.
Nice.
And
Okay.
yeah, and Tressa is a who's the head of Megamind. She is a black woman producer, and
There we
this
go.
is her studio, and she's absolutely brilliant. So we need y'all support on that as well. So that's the only two things I want to plug.
No, no, absolutely. Yeah. So everybody listening and watching, go check that out. Go support it. Go run up those numbers.
Oh wait, and one more thing
Yeah.
too. My bad, I forgot to mention.
There we go.
Oh, and being that you are in Los Angeles, and I know you
Yeah.
probably have a lot of audience members from Los Angeles.
Mhm.
If you guys aren't doing anything on the 24th or 25th of this month, the month of May, I will be performing at the Hollywood Bowl
Oh,
with
sweet.
Jennifer
Okay.
Hudson, Jeremy Irons, um, Ernie Sabella,
Oh, wow. Okay.
um, like the pretty much like the whole cast from the original Lion King. It is the Lion King 30th anniversary celebration at the
Oh,
Hollywood
nice.
Bowl.
Okay.
It's gonna be insane. The show, like we've already been preparing for it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a magical couple nights right there in Hollywood. So
Okay.
if any of you all out there, including yourself, Jalen, if you all
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
attend, man, please pull up. It's gonna be a beautiful, beautiful event.
Yeah. I'm gonna definitely go. That sounds amazing. Yeah. I didn't even know that was
Yeah,
happening.
man,
Yeah.
pull up, man. Please
Yeah.
do. I think you'll enjoy it.
No, absolutely. Yeah. I got you for sure. Um, but yeah, again, it was a pleasure talking to you, man. I can't wait to see the rest of the stuff that's coming from you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. And I look forward again, like I said, hopefully being able to work with you one day, man. We'll
Yeah,
stay in contact, but keep doing your thing. Know what I'm saying? Keep putting
yeah,
points on the board. Some days are gonna be easier than others, but man, just keep
yeah,
plowing forward, man, because we need more guys like you out there, helping to tell our
yeah.
stories and pushing our narrative forward the right way. You know what I'm saying?
No, thank you. From you saying that to some of the stuff you just said and the conversation as a whole during this interview, I really needed to hear a lot of it. So like truly, aside from just the fact that you were gracious enough to, allow me to speak to you, thank you for just saying the stuff that you said, man. So thank
Oh
you.
man, no problem. No problem.
No, absolutely. Let me stop me in the recording.
Oh.